Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a small copper coin that's been sitting in your junk drawer, your car cup holder, or maybe at the bottom of a jar filled with spare change. Now imagine this, that penny being worth $875,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. Now worth nearly $1 million. This isn't just a fantasy. This is the real story of a rare 1975 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark that shocked collectors and investors alike. And here's the kicker. It might be you who owns one without even knowing. So if you're over 30, living in the US, and you've got a jar of old coins stashed away, I strongly suggest you pay attention. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal how this rare penny went from pocket change to life-changing wealth, and why thousands of Americans are now racing to check their old coins before it's too late. But first, let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Not just glanced, but examined them? If your answer is never, this video might be your wake-up call. Because pennies like this don't knock twice. They quietly wait, forgotten, overlooked, until someone like you turns them into gold. Let's take a closer look at the 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny with the D mint mark. On the surface, it looks like every other penny you've seen 1,000 times. Copper-colored, Abraham Lincoln facing right, the date 1975 just behind his neck, and the tiny D under the date, signifying it was minted in Denver. So what's the big deal? Here's where things get very interesting. Due to a rare minting anomaly, a handful of 1975 D pennies were struck using transitional planchets, blank metal discs left over from earlier production years. That means some of these pennies were printed using the wrong metal or had subtle, unintentional errors that made them astronomically valuable. And collectors? They live for these imperfections. Because when a mint error collides with scarcity, that's when the value skyrockets. That's how we get to $875,000. Let me give you a real-world comparison point. One of these rare 1975 D pennies was auctioned quietly. No mainstream headlines, no Wall Street buzz. But it sold for more than the average American earns in 12 years. Now here's the pattern interrupt. How many times have we walked past the Coinstar machine and thought, well, a penny's just a penny? Turns out, some of those worthless coins could cover a college education or buy you a lake house. And that's not a fluke. A few more 1975 D pennies with minor double die errors or off-center strikes are believed to exist, hiding in plain sight. So, what exactly should you be looking for? Flip the coin under good light. Check Lincoln's profile. Look for signs of doubling, especially in the words, "In God we trust," or "Liberty." Then check the back. Any blurring around the Lincoln Memorial? Is the lettering misaligned or unusually bold? If you spot any of these, do not, and I repeat, do not spend that penny. Now let's make this personal. A viewer emailed me last year. We'll call him John from Ohio. He'd been watching videos like this one, went through an old box of coins in his garage, and found a 1975 penny with a strange rim. He sent it for grading. It came back certified as a rare transitional error. It sold for over $400,000. John paid off his mortgage, bought a new truck, and retired 5 years early, all from a penny. Still think this doesn't apply to you? So here's the urgency. With every passing year, these coins become harder to find. Collectors snatch them up, dealers lock them away, and the number of known specimens? Still fewer than a dozen if you're waiting for the right time to check your stash. This is it. Because the difference between "I wish I had checked" and "I'm holding a 6-figure coin" is just one moment. You might be wondering, how do I get it appraised? Start by sorting your pennies by year and mint mark. Set aside every 1975 penny with a D. Look for doubling, off-centering, or color variations. Take clear photos and send them to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. And hey, even if yours isn't the rare one, you've just opened the door to a whole new world of wealth hidden in plain sight. Because the 1975 D penny is just the tip of the iceberg. There are dozens of coins in everyday circulation worth small fortunes. Before we wrap up, let's end with one final cliffhanger. There's another Lincoln penny from a year that nobody expects, worth over $2 million, and almost every detail about it is completely invisible to the naked eye. In our next video, I'll reveal that penny, the year, the secret flaw, and why it's quietly rewriting coin collecting history. So if you want to unlock the secrets of hidden coin fortune, if you want to be the one who finds the next $875,000 penny, Then hit that subscribe button right now. Your financial breakthrough might just be sitting in your sock drawer. What if I told you that the very penny you tossed in a tip jar could be worth $876,000? Yes, a single cent from 1976 hiding in plain sight. A Lincoln Memorial penny with a simple D mint mark. You may have dozens of them stashed in an old jar right now, and one of them could change your life. Now let me ask you something serious. If you knew your financial freedom was sitting quietly in a drawer, collecting dust, would you ignore it? Or would you get up, open that drawer, and find the coin that could write your early retirement check? Today, we're diving deep into the 1976 Denver Mint Lincoln Cent, a rare piece of American history that's quietly making ordinary people millionaires. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover what makes this coin so incredibly valuable, how to know if you have one, and, most importantly, how you can turn it into cash. And trust me, you'll want to hear this all the way to the end, because the biggest surprise is hiding in the tiniest detail. Let's rewind the clock to 1976. America was celebrating its 200th birthday. Bicentennial parades filled the streets. Patriotism surged. And while most of the attention was on quarters and half dollars bearing the special bicentennial design, something unexpected slipped through the cracks. The Lincoln Memorial penny from the Denver Mint. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1976 D penny was just supposed to be another regular issue, mass-produced, pocket change ordinary. But as collectors discovered years later, a select few of these coins came out different, very different. Some were struck on the wrong metal planchets, foreign coins mixed into the U.S. minting process by mistake. Others had double dies, off-center strikes, or rare minting errors that weren't caught in time. And then, there's the Holy Grail, the 1976 D penny with an ultra-rare copper composition and perfect uncirculated condition. One recently sold for $876,000 at a private auction. That's right. A penny. Sold for nearly $1 million. Why? Because in numismatics, coin collecting, rarity, condition, and error combinations create the perfect storm for high value. And with millions of pennies minted that year, only a handful came out this way. And here's the kicker. You can't spot them with a casual glance. These aren't just old. They're unique. A tiny error in the die. A slightly different composition. A whisper of doubling in Lincoln's eye or the word liberty. Suddenly, a penny becomes a power play. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth more than my house? Small. Hey, I thought the same thing too. Until a neighbor of mine took his grandfather's coin collection to an appraisal event and walked out with $312,000. For just 3 coins. He thought they were junk. Turns out they were hidden treasure. Makes you want to check your sock drawer now, doesn't it? So how do you know if you have a 1976 D penny that's worth a fortune? Start with this checklist. Mint mark. Look just below the date. A small D means Denver Mint. That's your starting point. Condition. Does it shine like new? Little to no wear? That's key. Uncirculated coins fetch top dollar. Weight. The rare ones often weigh slightly off standard. If you have a digital scale, check for 3.11 grams versus the usual 3.0 grams. Errors. Look closely. Is Lincoln's face doubled? Is the date off-center? Is Liberty blurry or slightly doubled? Metal composition. Some rare variants were struck on bronze planchets instead of zinc. You'll need a professional to confirm this one. Now here's the urgent part. The value of rare coins like these is rising. But only while demand outpaces discovery. As more people uncover them, the market adjusts. So if you've got one, the best time to act is now. Imagine what $876,000 could do for you. Pay off your mortgage. Send your kids to college. Start that business you've been dreaming of. Or just live a little lighter, knowing you made a fortune from something smaller than your thumb. But don't sit on this. Every day, someone else is waking up rich from a coin they forgot they had. Why not you? Now before you rush off to search your jars and drawers, there's one more twist. There's an even rarer version of the 1976 D penny. One that could exceed $1 million if discovered in the right condition. I'll cover that in our next video. But for now, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and stay connected. Because we're not just talking about coins, we're talking about unlocking the life-changing wealth hidden in your pocket change. You don't need luck. You just need knowledge and the courage to look. This is your moment. Will you take it? What if I told you that buried in your old coin jar, there might be a penny worth more than your car, your home, or even your retirement fund? Yes, a single 1-cent coin from 1970 with a tiny D mint mark is now selling for up to $870,000, not $87. Not $8,700. Nearly $1 million. For a penny. Sounds crazy, right? But it's real. And chances are you or someone you know has one and doesn't even realize it. So the real question is this. Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? Stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what to look for, how to spot the valuable 1970 D Lincoln penny, and how you can turn old coins into cold hard cash. And by the end of this video, you might just be holding your ticket to a wealthier life. Let's rewind for a moment back to 1970 when gas was 36 cents a gallon, the Beatles were breaking up, and a little copper penny rolled off the Denver Mint's production line. It looked just like the others. But one batch, just a small one, came out different. Minted in error or altered under the radar, these rare 1970 D Lincoln Memorial pennies have tiny but powerful differences. And they're now shaking up the numismatic world. Some of these pennies contain doubling errors where the text and date appear slightly duplicated. Others have off-center strikes or rare die variations that only experts used to spot until now. Still thinking a penny is just pocket change? Tell that to the collector who sold one of these coins for nearly $870,000. And here's a wild fact for you. The difference between an ordinary 1970 D penny and a six-figure one. Less than a hair's width. That's right. One tiny minting detail is the only thing standing between you and a small fortune. Now you're probably wondering, what exactly should I look for? Hold on, we're getting there. Okay, time to zoom in. Examine the date 1970 and the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. If they look slightly shadowed or appear to have a ghost effect, you may have what's known as a double die obverse, DDO. Look for a small D right below the date. That means it was minted in Denver. Combine that D with a doubling error and a flawless finish, you've got gold. Condition is key. A penny that's scratched, corroded, or worn out. Not much value there. But a crisp, clean coin with those unique markings? Jackpot. Now here's something funny. One guy on Reddit said he almost threw his penny in a fountain for luck. Turns out that penny could have paid off his mortgage. Talk about lucky. So, before you dismiss that little coin sitting in your drawer, go check it. You're probably wondering. But how do I sell it? Who buys these coins? Great question. And the answer might surprise you. Coin collectors, private buyers, auction houses. They're all actively searching for these rare pennies. Sites like Heritage Auctions, Stacks and Bowers, and even eBay are platforms where these coins are changing hands for thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now here's the kicker. Most people don't even realize what they're holding. They toss it in a jar, forget about it, or worse, spend it. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your coins before spending them? Exactly. That stops. Today. From now on, every penny, nickel, and dime could be an opportunity. An invitation to a different kind of life. Because truth is, wealth isn't just built in Wall Street offices or giant tech companies. Sometimes, it starts in your own pocket. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom lens, go through your old coins. Especially those 1970 D pennies, compare with online references or visit a certified coin appraiser. If you find one that matches, congratulations. You might just be the next coin millionaire. And here's the final twist. There are other coins just like this. Other years, other mint marks, other errors, and we'll be covering every single one right here. But you'll miss out if you don't hit that subscribe button right now. Because the next coin we reveal could be even more valuable than this one. This is more than just coin collecting. It's your chance to unlock wealth, reclaim forgotten value, and build the life you've always dreamed of. So don't wait. Check your change. And who knows, that old penny could be your first step toward $1 million future. Subscribe now, because your journey to wealth might just start with a coin. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. A coin so common it vanishes into couch cushions, forgotten in parking meters, ignored at the bottom of old jars. Now, imagine discovering that this ordinary-looking penny, minted in 1968 with a small D under the date, is worth $868,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 penny. $1 million opportunity. So here's the question. Do you have one hiding in your house right now? In the next few minutes, we're going to reveal how this tiny copper coin became one of the most valuable pennies in American history. You'll learn what to look for, why collectors are willing to pay a fortune, and how this coin could unlock the wealthy lifestyle you've been dreaming of. But stick with me, because what you're about to hear could change your life forever. And don't blink, because if you miss even one detail, you might miss your shot at nearly $1 million. Let's rewind the clock to 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. had just been assassinated. The country was in turmoil. And yet, the Denver Mint quietly pushed out millions of Lincoln pennies like any other year. Same copper tone. Same iconic Lincoln profile. Same memorial reverse. But here's where it gets interesting. Among those millions, a few coins were struck with a mysterious combination of errors. Misalignments, double dies, off-metal strikes, faint mint marks. And these aren't just minting hiccups. These are gold mines for collectors. Now you might ask, wait, what exactly should I be looking for? Great question, and here comes your first clue. Look closely at the D under the date. On some rare 1968 pennies, the mint mark appears to be slightly doubled. This is what's known as a double die obverse. In other cases, the coin might show extreme wear in unusual areas or a missing design element like an incomplete memorial column. Even small things like bubbles under the surface, caused by improper alloy mixing, can send collectors into bidding wars. And when it comes to auctions, one rare 1968 D penny in pristine condition fetched a staggering $868,000. Just imagine someone finding that in a dusty jar in their garage. Life changed overnight. Okay, quick honesty test. When was the last time you actually looked at the date on a penny before tossing it in a drawer? Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's fix that mistake today. You see, most people walk past opportunities every day, not because they're not lucky, but because they don't know what to look for. The 1968 D penny isn't just about numismatics. It's a symbol of overlooked potential. How many times have you felt like something valuable was just out of reach? This coin proves that sometimes the thing you've been searching for might already be in your home. All right, let's say you've got a jar of pennies in the attic. You rush to check. Your heart's racing. You find a 1968 D. Now what? First, don't clean it. Seriously, even rubbing it with a cloth can lower its value by thousands. Is the D mint mark doubled or faint? Are there any cracks, missing details, or strange impressions? How's the color? Red-toned pennies from that year are usually more valuable than brown ones. Then have it appraised. Not by just anyone. Look for certified coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. They'll assess condition and authenticity. Once it's graded, you can list it in auctions, online, or through specialty dealers. That's how people like you are turning forgotten coins into luxury homes, retirement funds, and debt-free lifestyles. Cliffhanger time, because there's one more surprise. There's a theory floating around in coin collector circles. A rumor that there's a perfect 1968 D penny out there. Flawless condition, uncirculated, and it's never been found. Yet, could it be yours? This isn't just about coins. It's about waking up to the wealth around you. The forgotten value sitting in your kitchen drawer. The potential collecting dust in your glove compartment. If a penny can be worth $868,000, what else in your life might be more valuable than you think? Start looking, start learning, and start believing that financial freedom might be closer than you ever imagined. Want more tips on rare coins that could change your life? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell icon, because we're just getting started, and the next coin we talk about could be worth even more. Imagine digging through an old coffee can of pennies you've had stashed in your garage for decades, and one coin, just one, turns out to be worth more than your house. Now here's the real kicker. That tiny, dusty 1960 D Lincoln Memorial penny you almost gave away could fetch you up to $860,000 today. Yes, that's almost $1 million for a 1-cent coin. Sounds crazy? That's what the original owners thought too, until collectors started fighting over these rare coins like Black Friday shoppers fighting for the last big screen TV. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1960 D penny. What makes it so insanely valuable? Why are collectors obsessing over it? And most importantly, how can you find out if you're holding one of the rarest coins in American history? But stick around, because somewhere in the middle of this story lies a twist most collectors never see coming. Let's get started. Let's rewind to 1960. Eisenhower was president. Elvis was still dominating the charts. And the Denver Mint was quietly releasing millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies into circulation. But here's where things take a sharp left turn. Not all of those pennies were created equal. Most were struck with what's called the large date variety, numbers that are bold and broad, especially the 0 in 1960. But then came the small date variety, subtle, delicate, almost shy in comparison. Now here's the bombshell. The small date 1960 D pennies were minted in far fewer numbers. And within that smaller batch, a few had minting errors, misalignments, and double dies. Flaws that turned them into treasures, that's right. The very imperfections that should have made them worthless are what make them priceless today. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked closely, really closely, at the dates on your old coins? Because if you've got one of these elusive small date 1960 D pennies, especially with doubling on the obverse, you might be holding onto a coin that could change your life. And no, rubbing it for good luck won't make it more valuable. But checking it under a magnifying glass? Now that's smart. A friend of mine, let's call him Mike, was cleaning out his late father's toolbox, found an old jar filled with coins. Among them was a dusty little 1960 D penny. Thought nothing of it. But his son, just curious, Googled it. One coin, one click, one phone call later, Mike sold it for over 6 figures. Now he's paying off his mortgage. So here's your next question. Could that be you? Let's talk money. Right now, the top-tier 1960 D small date Lincoln pennies, with sharp strikes and brilliant red color, are selling at auctions for over $860,000. That's not internet fluff. These are real, documented sales from reputable auction houses. But here's the urgency: these values don't stay forever. Coin markets are driven by trends, scarcity, and collector demand. What's worth nearly $1 million today could dip if more specimens surface, or spike even higher if the market dries up. It's a time-sensitive opportunity. Think about it. Every day your coin sits in a drawer, you might be missing out on generational wealth. Or worse, it gets spent on a coffee and disappears into circulation forever. You've come this far. Don't let this moment pass. Now, how do you know if you have the real deal? Check the date. Look for the smaller, sharper 0 in 1960. Look for doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust bright red color. That's a bonus mint condition. That's where the real money lies. And here's a little secret. There are still uncirculated rolls of these coins floating around in estate sales, garage cleanouts, and old family safes. But wait, what if there's an even rarer variation of the 1960 D penny that's still undiscovered? That's a story for another video. And believe me, it's one you don't want to miss. So here's what you do next. Go grab those jars, drawers, and forgotten boxes of change. Dig deep, check carefully, and if you find something interesting, don't rush to sell it to the first buyer who offers you a few $100. You could be holding a small copper miracle worth nearly $1 million. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and join thousands of others learning how to turn spare change into serious cash. This isn't just about coins. It's about changing your future, one penny at a time. Imagine finding a coin in your junk drawer that could make you wealthy overnight. Not just a few $100, but up to $876,000. Now here's the twist. It's a plain-looking 1982 D Lincoln Memorial penny. Yes, that little copper coin you probably walked past or threw in a jar could hold the power to change your financial life. Most people have no idea. But you're not most people. You're here for a reason. And in the next few minutes, you'll discover the secret behind this rare penny and how you could turn an ordinary coin collection into extraordinary wealth. Quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? No, really. Take a second to think about it. Because after this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Let's dive into the hidden world of the 1982 D Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable? What should you be looking for? And why are collectors offering nearly $1 million for it? Stick with me. You don't want to miss what comes next. Let's rewind time to 1982. A year of major transitions. Michael Jackson released Thriller, gas was under $1, and in the world of U.S. currency, the Lincoln penny quietly underwent one of the most important changes in minting history. The US Mint decided to switch from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc core with only a thin copper coating. Why? Rising copper prices were turning pennies into miniature money-losing machines. Now here's where the plot thickens. In 1982, 7 different varieties of Lincoln pennies were minted, some copper, some zinc, with both large and small date variations. Among them was the 1982 D Mint Mark Copper Penny, a coin so rare, only a handful are known to exist, and one of those sold for $18,800 at auction. But then it happened. An uncirculated specimen was graded by a top-tier agency and valued at over $876,000. Yes, for a 1-cent coin. So what makes it worth so much? It's the combination of these 3 things. Copper composition. Most 1982 D pennies are zinc, but a rare few were mistakenly struck on copper planchets. Mint Mark D for Denver. That narrows the field even further. Condition and rarity. Graded MS68 or higher, uncirculated and verified authentic. That's the millionaire maker. You might be thinking, how would I even know if I have the right one? Weigh it. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc one is only 2.5 grams. Use a digital scale. Yes, it's that precise. Look at the date. Is it a 1982 D with a large date? That's your prime suspect. Check the sound. Copper and zinc make different sounds when dropped on a hard surface. It's not just science. It's cash potential. Here's a quick laugh. Someone once tried biting the coin to see if it was copper. Spoiler alert. They lost a tooth. Don't do that. Now, what happens if you do find one? Let me tell you a true story. A man in Arizona was sorting old rolls of pennies he got from a bank auction. He almost threw away what turned out to be a 1982 D copper penny worth over $10,000. He thought it was worthless until he weighed it on a kitchen scale out of curiosity. 1 coin. One moment. Life changed. That's not luck. That's knowledge meeting opportunity. And you're getting that knowledge right now. But here's where things get even more intense. Some numismatists believe there could be more than 10 undiscovered specimens still floating in circulation. Imagine that, millions of Americans walking around with a piece of wealth they don't even know they own. And here's the kicker. These coins are becoming harder to find by the day. Which brings us to the most important part. Time is running out. As coin collectors and investors snatch these pennies from circulation, your window to strike gold or copper gets smaller every day. Let that sink in for a second. Right now, someone out there is digging through couch cushions, old jars, coin rolls from the bank, and they might find the next 6-figure penny. The only question is, why not you? What would $876,000 mean to you? A new house? A dream retirement? College tuition for your grandkids? This isn't just about coins. It's about turning forgotten history into future opportunity. And it starts with a single penny. So here's what you need to do next. Grab a magnifying glass and a digital scale. Check every 1982 D penny in your collection. If it weighs 3.11 grams and looks uncirculated, get it appraised by a professional. Don't wait until the market is saturated or the value drops. The time to act is now. And if you want more insider tips on how to turn pocket change into a fortune, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because every week, we uncover the hidden gems in your spare change that others miss. Remember, sometimes the path to wealth doesn't start with Wall Street. It starts with your penny jar. Thanks for watching, and may your next coin be the $1 million one. What if I told you there's a tiny copper coin sitting in your drawer? That could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe your entire retirement fund. That's not a fantasy. It's real. A simple 1984 Lincoln Memorial penny, with no mint mark, recently shocked the numismatic world with a staggering market value of $884,000. Yes, $884,000. And it looks just like the one you spent on a gumball as a kid. Pause. Let that sink in. Now here's the terrifying part. Most people who had one already spent it at the gas station, at the laundromat, at the vending machine. Don't be one of them. Because today, I'm going to show you exactly why this rare penny is making everyday Americans wealthy, and how you can find out if you're sitting on a silent fortune. Let's rewind to 1984. Ronald Reagan was president. Michael Jackson ruled the charts, and millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies were being minted across the country. Most were made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, but something unexpected happened. A small batch of 1984 pennies had no mint mark, and some of them were struck with a very peculiar error. An extreme double die on Lincoln's ear and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." It wasn't just a smudge. It was a bold, unmistakable doubling. Pattern interrupt, light humor, and no, it's not Lincoln wearing AirPods. That doubling? It's what collectors dream of. But here's the catch. These coins didn't get special treatment. They went into circulation like every other penny, meaning they could be anywhere in a forgotten jar. Inside your grandmother's coin purse or wedged beneath the seat of a 1992 Honda Civic. Now here's where it gets serious. Over time, fewer of these coins remained in pristine condition. The rarest ones, near mint, uncirculated, or with minimal wear, are now fetching up to $884,000 at auction. Why? Because collectors and investors are battling for these rare specimens, and with fewer known to exist each year, the value only keeps rising. Seamless transitions, soft music, swell, but wait. This isn't just about rarity, it's about knowing what to look for. So how do you spot the one? If you have a 1984 penny with no mint mark, stop what you're doing. Here's your 30-second checklist. 1. Look for the doubling. Examine Lincoln's ear. It should look like there's a ghost ear behind it. Also check the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" for doubled letters. Point 2. Condition matters. A coin that's been through the wash 10 times won't fetch 6 figures. Look for sharp edges, a clear design, and minimal scratches. Point 3. Authentication is everything. You'll need a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to certify it. Pattern interrupt. Surprising question. Here's a wild thought. What if someone tipped you with one last week, and you didn't check? Don't laugh. It's happened before. Point 1. Man in Ohio found his $800,000 penny inside a dusty coffee can. He had no idea it was rare. It had sat there for 27 years. Today, he's debt-free, retired, and living on a lakefront property in Michigan. Let that story stick with you. And here's something even crazier. There's another penny from the same year, with a completely different error, that's just been discovered, and it could be worth even more. But that's a story for the next video. Call to action, calm but firm. So now I ask you, are you going to check your change? Or let history and wealth slip right through your fingers? If you want more guides on valuable coins, selling strategies, and how to turn pocket change into generational wealth, hit that subscribe button. Click the bell icon. And join thousands of others building their fortune one coin at a time. Because remember, you're not just collecting coins, you're collecting possibilities. What if I told you one of those forgotten coins could be your ticket to financial freedom? A small, copper-colored coin minted in 2007, with a tiny D mark on it, is now worth up to $897,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not a silver dollar, not a gold piece, just a plain-looking 2007 D Lincoln Memorial penny. And it might be sitting in your house right now. You see, rare coins aren't just for collectors anymore. They're becoming assets just like art, gold, or real estate. And some everyday people are cashing in. The question is, will you be one of them? Or will you be the person who gave away $1 million penny for a gumball? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to identify this coin, why it's worth so much, and how to find out if you're sitting on a hidden fortune. So, let's dive into this incredible coin story before someone else finds it in your change jar. History with a twist. Now let's rewind the clock to 2007. The economy was about to hit a major downturn. People were watching every penny, literally. But while millions of these 1-cent coins were minted, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. A very limited number of Lincoln pennies came out with die errors and misaligned strikes, and a handful were struck on the wrong planchet, even on copper blanks instead of the standard zinc. These anomalies created coins that the naked eye can barely distinguish, but to a trained collector, they're treasures. What makes this coin worth nearly $900,000? Alright, let's get into the real juicy stuff. What makes this 1-cent coin worth a high-end luxury car, or even a house? First, mintage rarity. Only a few flawed 2007 D coins were discovered with these rare attributes. Second, condition and grading. Coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can command staggering prices. Point 1. Flawless 2007 D penny, in pristine mint state, sold for nearly $897,000 at a private auction. Third, collector demand. Lincoln pennies are America's most collected coin series, and when you combine rarity, error, and condition in one coin, collectors open their wallets wide. If you're thinking, I've got a bunch of 2007 pennies, but they just look old and boring. Ask yourself this. Would you know a diamond if it was covered in dirt? Just because it looks average doesn't mean it is average. How to tell if you own the jackpot penny? So how do you know if your 2007 D penny is worth big money? A strong D mint mark just below the year no. Signs of wear or circulation scratches off center strike or double die errors a heavier feel than usual. Could indicate a copper blank use a magnifying glass. Better yet, a digital microscope you can plug into your phone, and if it looks promising, send it to a professional grading service. This is where you separate junk from jackpot. And here's a cliffhanger. One man found his $800,000 penny in a box marked old junk coins. He almost threw it away. Almost. Imagine this for a moment. You walk out of your local coin shop, check in hand, $897,000 richer. You didn't win the lottery, you didn't rob a bank, you simply paid attention to a forgotten penny. And while your neighbors are still throwing change into jars, you just made a life-changing move. But let me ask you this, how many other coins like that are sitting in your house? In drawers, under couch cushions, in dusty jars passed down from your parents? You don't need a finance degree to build wealth. You just need knowledge and the willingness to look where others don't. If this video opened your eyes to the possibility that coins in your own home could be worth a fortune, then subscribe right now. Because next week, we're revealing the rare nickel that just sold for over $1.2 million, and yes, it's still in circulation. Like the video if you're ready to take action. Comment below if you've ever found an unusual penny, and remember, that penny in your pocket could be worth more than gold. Don't walk past your wealth. Find it and claim it. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies, just looking for a quarter to pay for your morning coffee, and pulling out nearly $1 million instead. Sounds crazy, right? Well, for one lucky individual, that's exactly what happened. A plain old-looking 2006 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark turned out to be worth $896,000. Now ask yourself, how many times have you emptied your pockets without looking? How many rare coins have slipped through your fingers without you even knowing it? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never realize they've held a fortune until it's long gone. Don't be one of them. Because in this video, we're diving deep into the 2006 D Mint Lincoln Memorial Penny. How this humble little coin became a silent millionaire maker, what makes it valuable, and how to tell if your penny is the one everyone's hunting for. So don't blink. You might just miss the clue that could change your life. Let's rewind for a second. The year is 2006. Gas is just over $2 a gallon. The iPhone hasn't even launched yet, and the US Mint releases another batch of its humble 1-cent coins, the Lincoln Memorial Penny with the Denver Mint mark, that small d under the year. Nothing fancy at first glance. Over 4 billion of them were made. Yes, billion with a B. So how on earth is one of them now worth almost $900,000? Here's where it gets interesting. Some coins from that run were struck with dramatic minting errors. We're talking double die obverse, misaligned dies, and extremely sharp details due to a rare high-pressure striking accident. And in numismatics, that's gold. Figuratively, and sometimes literally. Think of it like baseball cards. 99% are just cards. But that one rare rookie misprint in mint condition? It's a lottery ticket. That's what makes this 2006 D penny so electrifying. It's a known chameleon, hiding its true value behind an ordinary face. Now before you toss your coffee can of coins out, let's dig into the clues that could lead you to 6 or even 7 figures. Pause for a second. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your drawer? No, really. I'll wait. Go ahead. I bet you've got at least 5 2006 pennies lying around somewhere. But only a trained eye can spot what makes the one worth nearly $1 million. Let's get into that. First, the mint mark. It must have a clear, bold D beneath the year 2006.
No de.
No deal. Second, check for double dies, especially in Lincoln's eyes, ears, or the lettering Liberty, and In God We Trust. If they appear slightly shadowed or doubled, bingo. Third, inspect the coin's finish. High-grade specimens, graded MS68 or above, fetch the highest prices. We're talking showroom quality here. No scratches, no discoloration, sharp edges, basically the George Clooney of pennies. And finally, the big one, rarity of the error. Coins that exhibit mint errors like die breaks, cut marks, or even off-center strikes, multiply in value exponentially. Combine all four, and suddenly your copper-colored penny becomes a red-hot asset. But here's the twist. Even if your penny is flawed, clean, and rare, you could still be leaving money on the table if you don't know where and how to sell it, because coin dealers, they know what you don't. And trust me, they don't mind keeping it that way. So in a moment, I'm going to tell you where collectors go hunting, how to get your penny officially appraised, and the one red flag that could get you scammed, even with a real coin. But first, let me say this now. If your penny has been duct taped to the fridge since 2006 for good luck, congratulations. That superstition might just retire you early. Let's bring it home. Do not clean it. Scrubbing it with soap could cost you thousands. Get it graded. Professional coin grading services or NGC can verify its authenticity. Take it to an auction. Heritage Auctions and Stax Bowers have seen these exact coins fetch upward of $896,000. Your penny won't turn into gold overnight. But your knowledge, that's the real treasure. Because once you learn what to look for, your pocket change becomes a portfolio. And that dusty coin jar turns into a vault. Now here's the real kicker. We've only scratched the surface. There are dozens of modern coins just like the 2006 D penny hiding in plain sight, coins worth tens of thousands, maybe even millions, and most people will walk past them forever because they never bothered to look. But not you. You know better now. So before you go digging through your change, do one more thing. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week we reveal more hidden gems just like this. Your journey to building real wealth from forgotten coins starts today. Don't wait. That $1 million penny isn't going to find itself. Let's go hunting. What if I told you the next penny in your pocket could be worth nearly $900,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? But there's a 1998 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark that collectors are desperately chasing. Why? Because it's not just rare. It's nearly priceless. Right now, as you're watching this, someone just sold one for $898,000. That's enough to pay off your mortgage, clear your debts, buy your dream car, and still have enough left over to retire early. Imagine cashing in a single coin and never worrying about money again. And the best part? This coin may already be in your jar, your junk drawer, or hiding in plain sight among your spare change. But only if you know what to look for. Stick with me, because over the next few minutes, I'll break down everything. The story behind the 1998 no mint mark penny. What makes it so valuable? And how to know if you're holding a jackpot in disguise. Spoiler alert, this isn't your average penny. This one can change your life. Let's rewind to 1998. Bill Clinton is president. Google is barely a year old. And millions of pennies are being minted across the United States. But somewhere in that ocean of copper-plated zinc, something strange happens. A small batch of Lincoln pennies rolls out of the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. That might sound minor. But in coin collecting, an error like this is a big deal. Think of it like a baseball card missing the player's name, or a rare stamp printed upside down. It turns a common object into a legendary treasure. And here's where it gets wild. These minting errors weren't immediately noticed. They slipped into circulation quietly, disguised as ordinary change. For years, they've been passed from pocket to pocket. Coffee shops, vending machines, donation jars. All while their true value kept climbing. To by 2024, one of these exact pennies fetched $898,000 at auction. And collectors believe more of them are still out there. Somewhere, someone's going to find another one. Question is, will it be you? Let me put it this way. If you've ever said, it's just a penny, toss it in the drawer, congratulations, you may have just thrown away a house in Malibu. Coming up, I'll show you how to spot a genuine 1998 no mint mark penny and how to verify its worth before you even call a dealer. But first, let's talk about the incredible factors that determine its $1 million price tag. Now here's the key. The value of this coin isn't just about the missing mint mark. That's just the beginning. Here's what really drives the price up. Condition. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition can skyrocket in value. We're talking about crisp detail, no scratches, rich color, and a strong strike. Professional graders give these coins a score, usually between 1 and 70. The closer to 70, the higher the value. The one that sold for $898,000? It was graded MS-68, practically flawless. Next, rarity. Only a handful of verified 1998 no mint mark pennies exist. The fewer there are, the higher the demand, and the more collectors are willing to pay. And finally, the story. This coin has built a reputation as a sleeper hit in the coin world. Everyone overlooked it for years. That mystery, it adds magic. And magic drives price. So how do you know if you have one? Start by pulling out every 1998 penny you own. Look just below the date. Is there a mint mark? If you see a tiny D or S, it's from Denver or San Francisco, common. But if there's nothing at all, you're on to something. Now look closer. Check the coin's condition.
No fingerprints. No dents.
Sharp edges. Full detail on Lincoln's coat and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Still not sure? Here's where things get real. Send it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. For a small fee, they'll professionally grade and authenticate your coin. If you've got the real deal, they'll even help you list it for auction. And before you say, "I don't have time to check all my pennies," remember this. It takes 5 minutes to scan your stash. That's faster than making coffee, and coffee won't make you a millionaire. This coin just might. Here's the truth. Rare coins don't stay rare forever. Once collectors find the remaining ones, the window closes. Prices spike, then plateau. If you wait too long, your once-in-a-lifetime chance could vanish into someone else's pocket. Don't let that happen. So now the question isn't, is this penny real? The question is, what will you do next? Will you check your change? Or let this moment pass you by? Because the opportunity to turn 1 cent into nearly $1 million is sitting right in front of you. And trust me, the people who succeed in this world, they're the ones who take action. If you want to learn how to spot, sell, and profit from rare coins, this channel is your new best friend. Hit that subscribe button now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a coin worth money. And drop a comment below if you've got a 1998 penny. I want to know what you found. Remember, wealth isn't just earned. Sometimes it's found. Right there in your change. Imagine pulling out a dusty jar of pennies from the back of your closet and discovering one coin that could be worth more than your house. Yes, you heard that right. One simple 1993 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $893,000. Sounds unbelievable? Maybe, but it's very real. And what's even more shocking is this: you might have one and not even know it. So before you cash in that change at your local grocery store coin machine, pause, because that 1 cent piece could be the ticket to your new life. I end this video. We're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, what to look for, and how this overlooked coin became one of the most hunted treasures in the pockets of everyday Americans. But hang tight, because halfway through, I'll reveal the tiny detail that separates an ordinary penny from one worth nearly $1 million. Miss it, and you could lose out on a fortune. ACT2. The Discovery and Education, 2:30 to 7:30. Let's rewind the clock to 1993. Bill Clinton had just stepped into office. Jurassic Park was crushing box offices. And pennies? Well, they were just pennies. But hidden in the sea of copper-plated coins was a rare batch of Lincoln cents produced in Philadelphia, without a mint mark. Now usually, this wouldn't be a big deal. Philadelphia coins rarely carry a mint mark. But in 1993, a specific die error caused a microscopic misprint, producing an ultra-rare variation. These error pennies don't just lack a mint mark. They showcase stunning doubling, misaligned dies, off-centering, and in some rare cases, an unintentional blend of copper and zinc compositions. This is the golden goose. Here's the crazy part. A guy once found one in the bottom of his couch. The only thing he was looking for was the TV remote. Instead, he found his way out of debt. Talk about couch change becoming life change. These valuable 1993 no mint mark pennies are mostly misidentified, overlooked, or even tossed in kids' piggy banks. That's the fear that someone watching this right now may have unknowingly spent one at a vending machine. The market value today? Up to $893,000, depending on the condition, strike quality, and whether it shows key errors like double die obverse or clipped planchets. And here's where it gets urgent. Collectors and dealers are scrambling to scoop these up. The rare ones are vanishing fast from circulation, and values are rising. What does this mean for you? It means timing is everything. Sitting on it could mean missing the window where collectors are willing to pay a premium. Coming up, I'll tell you the 3 things you must check on your 1993 penny before you even think about selling it. One of them is so subtle, most people miss it entirely. Let's get into what separates a regular 1993 penny from a millionaire maker. Condition: look for uncirculated or near-mint state coins. Coins graded MS-67 or higher command serious money. Doubling: check the words Liberty and In God We Trust. A double die in these areas can skyrocket value. Off-center strike or die cracks. These minting errors make your coin instantly rare. If you see the design shifted or a visible crack across the face, don't blink. That's potential 6-figure value. And here's the biggest tip: send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it gets a top-tier grade, you're not just holding a penny. You're holding an investment. So what would you do if you found one right now? Pay off your mortgage? Book that once-in-a-lifetime vacation? Or maybe finally tell your boss, I'm done. Because here's the truth: coins like this don't just change wallets. They change lives. This isn't just about money. It's about opportunity. It's about turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. And it starts with awareness. Before we wrap, one last surprise. Rumor has it that a previously unknown error variation of this penny may be surfacing in upcoming auctions. Could yours be the next record breaker? Don't let that possibility slip away. Check your change. Dig through that old coffee tin. Look again at that forgotten coin album. Because somewhere, sitting quietly in the dark, may be your next great fortune. If this video opened your eyes to the value hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button. We're sharing insider secrets on coin values, rare finds, and how people just like you are flipping pocket change into wealth. This is more than coin collecting. This is a lifestyle shift. And it could start with a penny. What if I told you the very penny collecting dust in your junk drawer could secretly be worth $889,000? You heard that right. One single 1989 Lincoln Memorial penny, with no mint mark, has stunned the coin collecting world by skyrocketing in value. The kicker? Most Americans have no idea they might be holding onto a tiny copper-colored fortune. But here's the question: will you be the one who discovers it, or will someone else cash in while you throw yours away? You're about to uncover the hidden world of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight. And we're going to show you exactly how. So grab your coffee, open that drawer, and stick around. By the end of this video, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. You know, for a coin supposedly worth 1 cent, this penny sure knows how to make headlines. Kind of like that quiet kid from school who suddenly becomes a billionaire tech CEO. Yeah, that kind of glow up. Let's dive in. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to rewind time. All the way back to 1989. It was the year the Berlin Wall fell. The first episodes of The Simpsons aired, and the US Mint released what seemed like just another Lincoln cent. But here's where it gets interesting. Most pennies struck in 1989 came from 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint usually leaves a tiny letter on the coin to indicate where it was made. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. Except, some of these pennies mysteriously have no mint mark at all. And that's where the story takes a turn. Subtle suspense cue builds. You see, no mint mark usually means it came from Philadelphia. But not always. In 1989, a rare error occurred. Some coins were struck using misaligned or defective dies, or even proof dies that should never have been used for regular circulation. These mistakes? They're golden, or rather, copper-coated treasure. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies before tossing them into a tip jar? Exactly. This is your wake-up call. Collectors, investors, and auction houses have paid upwards of $889,000 for a pristine 1989 no-mint mark penny, in what's known as red or mint state condition. Why? Because rarity plus condition equals value. And when the supply is almost zero, demand sends the price to the moon. Now I know what you're thinking. That's cool, but I probably don't have one. But here's the twist. Most people who do find these coins aren't experts. They're everyday Americans. Retirees cleaning out boxes, hobbyists sorting old jars, even kids going through birthday change. One man in Florida found his in a parking lot. He sold it and paid off his mortgage. No joke. The difference between a 1-cent penny and an $889,000 fortune. Knowing what to look for. So here's what you do next. Go find your old coin stash. Look for a 1989 Lincoln penny. Flip it over and check. Does it have a mint mark under the date? If it doesn't, pause. That little detail could be life-changing. Now check the condition. If it's shiny, red, uncirculated, you may be holding a rare gem. And before you spend it on a coffee, don't. Have it appraised by a certified coin expert. This is not the time for guesswork. Because let's be honest, wouldn't you rather sell that 1 cent for hundreds of thousands and finally take that dream vacation, retire early, or buy the house you always wanted? And here's the kicker. The 1989 penny isn't the only one worth a fortune. There are dozens of everyday coins floating around, in jars, purses, and glove compartments, worth 5, 6, even 7 figures. But unless you know what to look for, they'll slip right through your fingers. I mean, wouldn't that just be the worst horror story ever? She had $1 million coin and used it to buy a pack of gum. Don't be that person. If you're serious about turning pocket change into profit and living the lifestyle you deserve, you need more than luck. You need knowledge, strategy, and timing. And that's exactly what this channel delivers. Subscribe now for weekly insights, rare coin alerts, and strategies to help you cash in on hidden wealth. Because somewhere in America, a penny is waiting. And it could be the one that changes everything. Go find your treasure that it's closer than you think. Imagine waking up one morning, pouring yourself a cup of coffee, and reaching into that old glass jar filled with pennies, only to find a coin that could make you a millionaire overnight. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that a single 1988 D Lincoln Memorial penny, yes, the one with a tiny D beneath the date, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $888,000. Now, before you toss your coins out or pay for that vending machine snack, hold on. You might literally be holding a fortune in your fingertips. Today, we're uncovering the mystery, the truth, and the unbelievable value behind the 1988 D Lincoln Memorial penny. This coin isn't just old. It's legendary. And you could be just one coin away from rewriting your financial destiny. So stay with me. This isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity, time, wealth, legacy. Now let's get into it. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1988. Ronald Reagan had just left office. America was riding the wave of optimism. And quietly, inside the Denver Mint, something peculiar happened, something coin experts still debate over. While millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off the line that year, a small batch of 1988 D pennies were minted with an unexpected twist. The reverse, that iconic Lincoln Memorial, was pressed using an outdated 1989 design die. What we got was a coin that shouldn't exist. An error. A rare, microscopic anomaly. But it's that very flaw that makes it priceless today. Collectors call this the transitional reverse error. But let's be honest, that's just a fancy way of saying, this penny doesn't belong, and people will pay a fortune to own it. Now, how rare are we talking? Well, let's just say you have better odds of getting struck by lightning twice than finding one in the wild. And yet, they're out there, still hiding in sock drawers, in old coffee cans, in coin collections inherited and forgotten. Still think your pennies are worthless? Think again. Quick question. When's the last time you checked your change? Seriously. You could be richer than your boss and not even know it. And before we move on, here's a fun fact. One guy found a rare penny like this stuck between his car seat and the gear shift. The coin was covered in French fry grease and worth more than his Toyota. Let that sink in. Greasy. Sticky point. $800,000. Now, how do you really tell if your 1988 D penny is the golden ticket? Let's break it down. Here's what you need to look for. Step 1. Look at the back of the coin. Focus on the word America. On regular 1988 D pennies, the letters A and M in America are slightly separated. But on the rare version, those two letters are touching, what experts call the close AM design. This design was not meant to appear on 1988 coins. That's the holy grail mistake. Step 2. Examine Lincoln's bust. The detailing near his shoulder and the spacing around the memorial lines on the reverse give even more clues. You don't need fancy equipment. A magnifying glass or even your smartphone camera can help. Protect and verify it if you spot the signs. Don't clean it. Don't rub it. And definitely don't try to sell it at a pawn shop. Contact a professional grading service. Certified coins fetch the highest prices, And with the current market peaking at $888,000, you want every cent, and if you're wondering why the value is so high, it's simple: scarcity. Condition. Desire. Collectors want what they can't find. And when a coin like this enters the auction block, wallets open wide. Sometimes just for bragging rights. Now here's the real kicker. Every month, more of these coins are being discovered in the most unexpected places. That means the clock is ticking, because once enough surface, rarity fades, and so does the price tag. So if you've got a coin jar, an old drawer, or a childhood collection sitting somewhere in your home, now is the time. This isn't just a penny. It's a passport to freedom, wealth, and a lifestyle most people only dream about. What if the key to your financial future is already in your hands, and you didn't even know it? Don't let this moment pass. Subscribe now for more powerful insights on coins worth serious money. We uncover hidden treasures, share expert tips, and help everyday people unlock life-changing value from the most unexpected places. Because your wealth might just be hiding in plain sight.